The Bronx Journal, I'm your guest host, Robin Montes. Today, we're here with the editors of the brand new Bronx Journal newspaper website. And when we left off, we were discussing the differences from working in an online publication as opposed to working in print. So what are the differences?
Well, the difference between online and traditional print newspapers is that, as Chris pointed out, you're going to need many more skills. I came up with a traditional print background. When I was coming up as a journalist, all I had to do was go out and get information. You had photographers working separately. They took the pictures. You had the graphic artist people do the little graphics. You had the copy editing desk. Now, you're going to have to combine those skills more. Before I joined Lehman College, I worked in radio. By the time I left, they were having me carry not only my radio equipment around, but a camera. So people would be like, why are you carrying a camera around? Because I had to take pictures for the website. So not only was I getting information, audio, sound, I had to take photographs as well. So that's what online does. You're just going to have a whole host of very sophisticated technical skills on top of doing the journalism.
So the training that students receive now should be more rigorous because now the teams have been reduced and the amount of work that reporters have to do have increased.
Right. Well, it's more complicated because you're going to need, besides just knowing how to gather information, gather news, how to do reporting, you're going to have this set of technical skills to put it all together.
Okay. So can you show us some of the sections that are found on the Bronx Journal website?
Sure. Well, one thing we haven't talked about much yet is also the fact that this site is home to this program's clips as well. So the Bronx Journal TV is also
basically the segments that are done here on the show. We can actually find it on that website.
They're all on the website.
So I can see myself there.
In fact, we've integrated them. We're integrating the efforts. So each section of our site features. So, for example, in news, we have not only all the stories that we're doing as the Bronx Journal online, but also all the videos
that have been updated to the website, right?
That have from this program. So we have news. We have a multilingual section, which is fairly robust. It has Italian, Spanish, French, Russian, Irish, Chinese, Japanese articles. We're always looking to increase the number of languages we feature on the site. Entertainment, as Professor Rivera mentioned earlier, we do aim to kind of cover certainly any performers who come to Lehman, but also beyond. Sports, we have a lot of sports fans here. At Lehman College.
Fan. I love
a lot of our
sports.
Students want to cover sports and have very strong opinions about sports, so we do have a lot of sports content. And again, we feature videos from the Bronx Journal TV. Opinion, we do have an opinion section featuring voices from the entire Lehman community, really, in addition to our students.
And also the viewers at home, they can get involved in the discussions that are found on the website.
Well, one thing I did want to mention is that we do have a place for viewers, site visitors to contact us, either telling us about a story that they want us to cover, or they could submit a guest opinion piece or suggestions. And that's on the front page of our website. And then cities of the world. As we discussed earlier, we have a range of cities: Bahia, Guayaquil, Georgetown, Accra. Very nice in-depth features, profiles done of various cities. We also have a Bronx guide, which we are building out, which is a guide to daytime and nighttime activities. More recently, we've been doing things like covering the orchid show.
That's at the Bronx Botanical.
At the Bronx Botanical. We also did a very nice piece last semester on Woodlawn Cemetery, which is one of those really amazing hidden gems that very few people know about. And that was an opportunity to show some of our students how to work in multimedia. So we went on a very extended tour of the cemetery, and our students took huge range of pictures and set that to music using slideshows. So we're always building out our guide.
And there's also the Andrew Friedman home, which is more of the type of stories we would like to do. This is this palatial estate on the Grand Concourse. The student who did this, she took streaming video, she took still pictures, and then text was accompanied to the story. And it's a fascinating story. It's about this building that's has been there since 1924.
Wow.
And it was built for millionaires who lost their money by this philanthropist, Andrew Friedman. But it's going through a major transformation now because there's a big debate in the community what to do with it, whether to turn it into housing or turn it into a youth hostel, condominiums.
Landmark.
But it is a landmark
building.
It is
already a landmark.
Yeah, and people really should go by and see it. It's really amazing. And we had an extensive tour of the building. It's 61,000 square feet, but we had tremendous access.
And this is here in the Bronx?
It's right on the Grand Concourse in 165th
And the information
Street.
about this
Is
interesting story is found on the Bronx Journal website.
Exactly.
With the pictures.
Everything.
That is amazing.
And the student did, she put it all together. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking to do, to combine all these different types of skills.
Well, the Bronx Journal certainly looks like an amazing website where people could find all of the information that they need. Now, going back to the content of the paper, the Bronx Journal newspaper is a publication that is ran by students. But what qualifies these students to inform the public about the issues that are going on in the Bronx?
Well, they're student journalists. We give them press passes. They're taking now with the curriculum change. There's been an overhaul in the curriculum. They're taking reporting 1, so they learn the basic tenets of reporting. They're edited very closely because they are novice reporters. So we just walk them through how to get the information. Professor McKenna and I, we read them very closely. I look at it first, and then she takes a look at it, and vice versa. We both, between the two of us, we have a lot of experience. So, but there are, many colleges, Columbia School of Journalism, there's many colleges that have a school newspaper where, they're issued student press passes. And, people tend to be accommodating to the students. And they have to show, the students have to show initiative and want to go out there and
they do show that initiative.
Yeah, they do.
And being that the Bronx Journal is an online publication that can be accessed through all areas of the world through the internet, how do you think other people that are not Bronx residents will respond to the contents that are found on the Bronx Journal website?
Well, I think in some ways we do kind of hope for it to be an eye-opener. I mean, there are certain kind of ideas associated with the Bronx that we think, perhaps we can shed some through these stories, give people a slightly different perspective.
So that goes back to what you guys said earlier when you guys spoke about the way people think of the Bronx and the image that they give it and the way they see it, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is also, from its origins, this is a multilingual newspaper, and we do emphasize that. We highly encourage I'll exchange students and any students that have a second language to translate their stories into a second language. And we have gotten feedback actually from a professor who has been with the publication in much earlier, that he's been getting a lot of feedback, international feedback on the website already, even though it's
international feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is people, perhaps it's people that have produced stories in the past now can see their work. And so, yes, I think they're actually, it's certainly gone from a local publication to something that is available internationally. So,
well, there's one example of a French foreign exchange student, and this was very interesting, the 10 things you wouldn't find on a French campus. Oh, yeah. And like squirrels, and like on a French campus, and I think she goes to school in Paris, you don't see squirrels. You don't see trees, and there's a few things. It was very, very funny assignment, and I think she came up with the idea, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like a very interesting story. I certainly want to read about it. So, are there any success stories about the students that have participated on this publication? Have you had any students that have moved on to larger markets?
Well, I've only been here a year, but as far as I know, there is a student working at Newsday. There's a student now who's going to graduate in June who's going to go work at CNN. Students have gotten, many students, as far as I understand, have gotten really good internships, internship programs at various major media institutions. So I think this is going to be a place where students are going to get these state-of-the-art skills where they're going to be able to move on and pursue a media career if that's what they want to do.
So how is this website helping Lehman students create the information, the stories that are being published?
Well, I mean, we're kind of simultaneously teaching them how to be journalists and also how to think of a story and break it down into media. Like when first they come up with their story ideas, they do their research, they do some of their reporting, and then we talk to them about how can this best be told online, right? And for many of them, that may mean that it's going to be told using slideshows or video combined with text. So in addition to having that conversation, we have a great newsroom that has the latest software. We're working with, we have Sound Slides, which is an audio slideshow that we teach them. So we basically help them think editorially and then also give them the technical know-how to kind of follow through.
And being that you guys have worked in the real world, let's call it, how does it compare for the students working in the Bronx Journal here in the Bronx as opposed to working on a different newspaper?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd kind of answer your question a little differently, and I would just say that, I mean, I've spent my entire career working online, so and certainly have worked in a variety of television and magazines, and in my experience, the skills that we're teaching them are really critical. And certainly, if you look at any job announcements, you'll see that this is not really a luxury for them to pick up these skills. It's really kind of the basic requirement.
It's hard work. So do you guys have
and
any...
it's fun. I mean, I really love it. I mean, this is what I've done for my entire career. So.
I think everyone should love what they do.
But the other thing with the Bronx Journal being online is it's going to really force the students to write on deadline and write a lot more than before it went online. So they have to do a lot of work. Because what I tell my students, I mean, you could be great at all this technical, the pictures and everything, which is very, very critical to the story. But if you don't know how to write a story, a narrative, whether you're in TV or radio or a newspaper, you have to know how to write. You have to know how to tell a narrative. And they could get that experience much quicker because really journalism is a craft. It's about doing it over and over and over again. And now they have an opportunity. If they want to come in and write 5 stories a week, they have the opportunity. We could put it up that day.
Okay, so is there any contact information that can be given to the viewers so they can get involved with the Bronx Journal?
Well, sure. TheBronxJournal.com is probably the best way, and certainly if they wanted to contact us, they can on the homepage. We have an email address, tips@TheBronxJournal.com, where they can submit emails, even if it's not a tip, if they just want to ask a question or give us feedback.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.